So guys, now please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online, guys, now please respond to me. Guys, all of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online, am I audible, guys? Is my voice on screen is clear to all of you guys? Please respond to me. Everybody, please respond to me. All right. Good morning, guys. Right, sir. Now check it. What topic here we are understanding there? So I think so. We are discussing about the differences between Java and others. Then where just we started the topic like what? The differences between Java and others. The topic just we started. Okay. All right, sir. Now, if you understand the total last class topic, if you understand there, what I completed in the last class, just 2 minutes of time, we are going to have some rewinding. Try to understand it. The topic name is what there, differences between Java and others. Where the very first difference is what there, C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. If any programming language is following the static memory allocation, then that programming language is a static programming language. What is static memory allocation actually? If the memory allocation is provided for the primitive data at the compilation time, then that memory allocation is called static memory allocation. Examples are C, C++. In C and C++ applications, memory will be allocated for the primitive data at the compilation time only, or at the time of compilation only. If any programming language is following the dynamic memory allocation, then that programming language is called a dynamic programming language. All right, what is this dynamic memory allocation? If the memory allocation is provided for the primitive data at a runtime, then that memory allocation is called dynamic memory allocation. Examples for dynamic memory allocations are like what there? Java, Python. In Java applications, memory will be allocated for the primitive data at a runtime only, not at a compilation time. Clear. Then some diagrammatic representation are given. What is the purpose of the compilation and how static memory allocation is going on and how dynamic memory allocation is going on. To cover all these points here, we are having what there? A diagrammatic representation. Understand it clearly. The second point here we understood there. What was the second point here? We are getting clarity. Now the second thing is what there, preprocessor required in C and C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. Then I given information to you clearly. What is preprocessor? What is the location of the preprocessor and what is the job of the preprocessor? Preprocessor is the first phase in the compilation. Preprocessor is what there, first phase in the compilation. In C and C++, the complete predefined library was provided in the form of header files. The complete predefined library was provided in the form of header files. What are the various header files? You know, stdio.h, conio.h, math.h, and so on. In C and C++ programs, if you want to use predefined libraries, then we have to include the header files. For this, we have to use what statement here? No, hash include statements. Clear. Examples are given about this hash include statements. Hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, hash include math.h. In C and C++, when we compile C and C++ programs, the preprocessor will perform some actions. What actions that preprocessor is able to perform here? Preprocessor will recognize all hash include statements. Preprocessor will take the header files names from the hash include statements. Preprocessor will check whether the provided header files exist or not in C and C++ softwares. If the provided header files do not exist in the C and C++ softwares, then the preprocessor will raise an error. If the provided header files exist in C and C++ softwares, then the preprocessor will load the provided header files content to the memory. Then I give in a conclusion, loading predefined libraries to the memory at a compilation time is called static loading. Loading predefined libraries to the memory at compilation time is called what there? Static loading. In C and C++, preprocessor is required. For what purpose it is required? No, to recognize hash include statements in order to load header files content to the memory. To recognize hash include statements and in order to load header files content to the memory, what is required? No, preprocessor is required. This is the clear-cut analysis about the preprocessor. The related example, related diagram here I have given. Here exactly in this location preprocessor is available, but intentionally I given compiler internal structure. Intentionally I given compiler internal structure, but at present it is not required for us, but for the future purpose only I given that elaborated structure for compilation compiler. Okay, leave it. So this is a total diagram with respect to the preprocessor and its related content. Leave this part here. After this, now the next point is what? Preprocessor is not required in Java. Preprocessor is not required in Java. Why preprocessor is not required in Java? Preprocessor is required in C and C++. Why? Already we understood that. But why preprocessor is not required in Java? That we have to understand. Now let us move on to the point here. Now, the Java related diagram already given. Now just look at this diagram here. Java program, compilation, dot class files, execution, output. In compilation, only 3 components are available, not 4 components. Preprocessor is not existed. Compiler, assembler, loader, link editor. Again, compiler internal structure as it is, that we have to recognize. Leave this point here. Now here, I am giving the point clearly to you. Observe carefully. In a C and C++, the complete predefined library was provided in the form of header files. Am I right or not? The complete predefined library was provided in the form of header files in C and C++. But now, what is the point I'm telling there? In Java, observe carefully. In Java, the complete predefined library was provided. In Java, the complete predefined library was provided in the form of classes and interfaces in the packages. This is the points now. This is the Java. We have to remember, we have to understand the points. C and C++ concepts, whether you understood or not, nothing is going to be happen. But you have to understand Java points. If you're not understanding Java points now, you are going to lose some content. That's why put more concentration about this Java related points now. Right, sir. In Java, the complete predefined library was provided in the form of classes and interfaces in what there? In packages. Okay, fine. Next one is after that, examples for this packages here I'm telling to you. Java.io, Java.util, Java.sql, and so on and so on and so on. So many number of packages are available. Just I given list for one or two number of packages only. Okay, fine. In C and C++, library was provided in the form of header files. If we want to use that library in the C and C++ programs, we have to include that header files to the program. To include that header files to the program, we have to use a hash include statements. Am I right or not? Similarly, in Java, if you want to use predefined library in Java applications, we have to include that packages to the Java program. To include packages inside the Java program, there we have to use package statement, or sorry, we have to use import statement, not package statement. We have to use what there, import statement. In C and C++, hash include. In the case of Java, import statement. Understand the point here, what I'm telling there. In Java applications, if you want to use predefined library, then we have to include packages in the Java applications. For including packages in Java applications, we have to use import statement. We have to use what statement? Import statement. Now let me provide these import statements here. What we are going to have there, examples here I'm telling to you. Import java.io.star. What is the meaning of this star now? In java.io, number of classes and interfaces are available. I want to get all classes and interfaces of that java.io package. Understand my point here? Here star represents all members of the java.io. Everything of the java.io I want to get into my Java file. Right. Similarly, import java.util.star. Again the same meaning. In java.util, so many classes and interfaces are available. I want to get all classes and interfaces to my program. Next one is import java.sql.star. Here also be number of classes and interfaces are available in Java program. I want to get all the classes and interfaces to the present Java file. That's it. Now this is exactly the meaning of like what their import statement. Clear? Listen carefully. In C and C++, is it runtime? Okay. Well, after compilation of your program, what you are doing? For example, you have written one program there, you compiled it, you got some file. Then what you are doing? Example already you have written, that we compiled. Then what next? Okay, fine. 1 minute. See this diagram. This is C program. Compilation we have done. Then what we are getting? .exe file. Then what next? Right, perfect. Execution. After execution, we are going to get what there? Output. This execution time is runtime. This time, the moment when we are compiling, that is what the compilation time. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Let's put more concentration here. Now, where we are here now? Right. Now let's understand the point here. In a C and C++ applications, everybody understand the point now. In a C and C++ applications, when we compile the program, preprocessor will recognize all the hash include statements. Preprocessor will take all the header files names. Preprocessor has to check whether these header files are available or not in C and C++ softwares. If these header files are available in C and C++ softwares, then directly preprocessor will load that header files contented to the memory. If they're not available, preprocessor will raise some error. This is exactly the internal flow of the preprocessor inside the C and C++ programs. Similarly, in Java, what is going on? Not same as preprocessor work, no, but a little bit changes are available. Now try to understand it clearly. Small changes are available. Now try to understand the point here. Right. Now the point is what? When we compile a Java file, when we compile a Java application, the compiler will perform the following actions. Where preprocessor is available, but here compiler is available. Compiler will perform the following actions. What actions the compiler will perform there? Observe carefully. First, compiler will recognize all the import statements. Yes, compiler will recognize all what their import statements. Next, compiler will take all the package names which we provided along with the import statements. Compiler will take all the packages names which we provided along with the import statements. Okay, which we provided. Right, sir. Compiler will take all the package names which we provided along with the import statements. Next, point number 3. All of you understand it clearly. Compiler will check whether these packages exist or not in the Java software. Compiler will check whether these packages exist or not in the Java software. Yeah, the point is what? If the provided packages do not exist in the Java software, if they're not available in the Java software, then the compiler will raise an error. Even that error message also can give that error like understand it clearly, package xxx does not exist. That xxx may be java.io, java.util or java. Something, whatever it may be, whatever the package name is specified, no, that is that package. Package java.io does not exist. Package java.sql does not exist. That's okay, fine. For example, if the provided packages exist, if the provided packages exist in the Java software, if they're available in the Java software, in the case of C and C++, if the header files are available in the C and C++ softwares, preprocessor will load that header files content to the memory. That is static loading. We already understood that point. In the case of Java, observe carefully. If the provided packages exist in the Java software, then the compiler will not raise any error. Compiler will not raise any error. Why? Because package is available. Okay, fine. At the same time, the compiler will not load any package content to the memory. In C and C++, preprocessor will load header files content to the memory. In the case of Java, even though packages are available inside the Java software, compiler will not load any package content to the memory. Compiler responsibility is not loading any package content to the memory. Compiler responsibility is only checking whether that packages are available or not. That packages are available or not. That's it. Not available, error. Available, no error. That's it. Compiler is not responsible for loading predefined library to the memory. Understand it clearly now? Okay. All right. Now the point is like what there. If the provided packages exist in the Java software, then the compiler will not raise any error. At the same time, the compiler will not load any package content to the memory. Okay, this is compilation part. When we compile a Java program, what is going on here now? But then what is going on here? What's the point I'm telling there? At runtime in the sense what there? Execution time. When we execute the program. After compilation, we have to execute the program. Right, at the runtime of the application, when JVM required the predefined library, their JVM will load the required classes and interfaces from the provided packages. Understand my point? When JVM required, or else when JVM encounter a class name in the Java program in the execution process, by the time only JVM will recognize the respective package, JVM will identify the respective class in the respective package, JVM will load that class into the memory. Understand my point clearly now? Alright, sir. At runtime of the application, when JVM requires the predefined library, their JVM will load the required classes and interfaces from the packages to the memory. Now tell me, in the case of Java, at what time predefined library is loading to the memory? At what time predefined library is loaded to the memory in the case of Java? In C and C++ at compilation time we loaded predefined library. But in Java, at what time we are loading predefined library? Is that at compilation time or at runtime? Runtime, not at compilation of JVM. JVM is coming into the picture at what time? Runtime only. Who is the executor of the Java program? JVM only. JVM will come into the picture at what time? Runtime only. Who is loading library to the memory? JVM. At what time? Runtime. So loading libraries at runtime is called dynamic loading. Loading predefined library to the memory at runtime is called what there? Dynamic loading. Right. So now loading predefined libraries to the memory at runtime, loading predefined libraries to the memory at runtime is called dynamic loading. Is called what there? Dynamic loading. Simple comparison. C and C++ are following what type of loading? Static loading. Java is following what type of loading? Dynamic loading. Understand my point, Kiran? Right, sir? Hash include statements are supporting what type of loading? Static loading. Import statements are supporting what type of loading? Dynamic loading. Preprocessor is performing what type of loading? Static loading. JVM is performing what type of loading? Dynamic loading. That's simple comparison that we have to understand. So it might be then, if we are getting any question, tell me exactly the differences between Java and C, C++. These many points here we can speak out. The intention, what intention I'm taking these differences between Java and other programming languages, no, along with the actual content of the differences, no, I'm able to give some fundamental points also. If we catch all the fundamental points, then it will be good thing for us to understand Java in the future. Because of that reason, I'm taking these concepts at a starting point here. From this yesterday and today's discussion, what fundamentals here we are getting? At least we are getting the process of executing the program. First you have to write the program, next you have to compile the program, next you have to execute the program, then only we are able to get output. For what purpose we are performing compilation, that points we understood in yesterday's topic. After that, what is the meaning of static programming language? What is the meaning of dynamic programming language? Where we understood what is the meaning of static memory allocation, dynamic memory allocation. Then in today's class, we are understanding clearly what is static loading and what is dynamic loading. What is import statement and what is hash include statement. What is a header file and what is package. All these are fundamentals. No, these are the terminologies. At a starting point itself, if we are catching this terminology, it will be easy for us to understand the next concepts now. Indirectly, I'm preparing the ground to understand Java. Nothing more than this. Okay, right, sir. Now let's move to the point here. So this part is completed here. Loading predefined libraries to the memory at the runtime is called as what there? Dynamic loading. Now come for the conclusion. Why preprocessor is not required in Java? That's the question. Why preprocessor is required in C and C++? There already we have given information there. What is that information already we have discussed it there? In C and C++, preprocessor is required to recognize hash include statements in order to load header files content to the memory. The point we understood. Similarly, in Java, why it is not required? Now I'm giving clarity. Now try to understand it clearly. In Java, preprocessor is not required. Preprocessor is not required. Why? Because Java doesn't include, Java doesn't have hash include statements and header files. In Java, hash include statements are not available and header files are not available. Because of that reason, what is not required in Java? Preprocessor is not required in Java. Preprocessor is not required in Java. If you have hash include statements, if you have header files, no, then preprocessor is required definitely. But in Java, hash include statement and header files both are not required, not available. So preprocessor is not required in Java. Okay, if they are not available, but the similarities we required in Java, the similar kind of alternatives are required in the case of Java. Then in Java, what alternatives are available? Alternatively, Java has import statements in place of hash include statements. What we have there? Import statements and the classes and interfaces inside the packages. Classes and interfaces inside what their packages. Observe carefully what I am telling there. In Java, preprocessor is not required. Why? Because Java doesn't have hash include statements and header files. Alternatively, Java has import statements. For the hash include statement, what is available? Import statements and the classes and interfaces inside the packages. And moreover, what I am telling there, in Java, to recognize import statements, to recognize import statements, to recognize import statements, and to load package content to the memory, and to load package content to the memory. Java has compiler and JVM. What exactly the preprocessor work is available in C and C++? No, the same work could be done by compiler and JVM. Preprocessor work is automatically taken care by compile and JVM. So preprocessor component is not required in the case of Java. Yes, sir. All of you are following the point or not? All of you are comfortable with this explanation? All of you are getting clarity on this? No? Then I don't know what is the reason why your face are not glow. No lighting effect, no dim light you are having, no. Right? When the points you understood there, you have to at least give a smile, no, right? By that I can understand your beautiful faces, no. Then you are total in a dull mood, in the sense I may think about it while explaining these concepts. No, if I observe your faces there, then your face are total in dull mode. What we can understand there, maybe you're having girlfriend problem in outside, family problems. No, I think you are not comfortable with your girlfriend. If you're not comfortable with your girlfriend, just leave her. Why you are going to tie with her, right? Leave it, put concentration on Java and make your Java is your girlfriend. Java is your girlfriend, love it. She will provide job to you. Your actual girlfriend will not provide job to you. She will take money from you. It's not good thing. But Java will provide job to you. Java will provide money to you, right? Survival problem is resolved by Java, not by your girlfriend. Your girlfriend will put you into more problems, but Java will save from your problems. Like Java, love Java. Okay. What's the topic we are discussing now? Preprocessor is not required in Java, but preprocessor is required in C and C++. This is a topic in which main topic? This is a subtopic actually, but what is the main topic name? Differences between Java and other programming language. Still it is a subtopic in what main topic? No. Still it is a subtopic in what main topic? It is a subtopic in a main topic. What is the main topic? Introduction topic. Core Java introduction we are discussing there. Full stack Java, core Java, introduction, differences between Java and others, where preprocessor is required in C, C++, preprocessor is not required in Java. At least index we have to remember now. Okay, right. Now let's move to the point here. We have one important interview question. Now try to understand it. Everything is right. In Java, preprocessor is not required because Java doesn't have hash include statements and header files. Alternatively, Java has import statements and the classes and interfaces inside the packages. In Java, to recognize import statements and to load packages content to the memory, Java has the compiler and JVM. Leave this point here. Then related diagram also we have given. After completion of this diagram, we are having one important interview question. Everybody has to give answers for it. Already we have the answers for this question. Now here, my question at fresher level, definitely you are able to get this question. The answer, the question is what there? Observe carefully. So what are the differences between hash include statements and import statements? Hash include statements and what next one here? Import statements. Yeah, this is the question. Already we understood what is the purpose of this hash include statement and import statement, and where they are going to be utilized, how they are going to be evaluated, then who are going to evaluate these hash include and import statements. All the points are available with that we have to understand clearly. Now tell me, sir, the very first point. First of all, where, in which programming languages they are available? Now try to understand it now. Hash include statements exist in C and C++. Similarly, import statements exist in Java. Clear? This is the very first point here we have to understand. Okay, fine. Next one is, what is the purpose of each and every statement? What is the purpose of hash include and what is the purpose of import statements? All of you understand it clearly? Hash include statements are able to include the predefined library, libraries which are existed in the form, which are existed in header files, Right, sir. All of you understand it clearly, which exists in header files. Next one is about this import statements. Import statements are able to include the predefined libraries which exist in what they which exist in packages. Right, sir. Which exist in what their packages. For header files, hash include statement. For packages, import statement. Point number 3. Who are evaluating that hash include statements? No. Preprocessor is evaluating hash include statements. Evaluating in the sense recognizing and executing the hash include statements by preprocessor. But in the case of Java, who are evaluating that import statements? No. Right, understand it clearly. Compiler and JVM both. For checking whether the packages are available or not, compiler must recognize import statements. For loading predefined libraries to the memory, JVM must recognize what their import statements. So because of that reason, both the compiler and JVM are evaluating the import statements. Both are evaluating what their import statements. Understand the point clearly now? Right, sir. It's okay. Both compiler and JVM are evaluating the import statements. That's okay, fine. Point number 4, observe carefully. Right, regarding the static loading and dynamic loading. Now tell me, hash include statements are supporting static loading, are providing static loading. But whereas import statements are supporting dynamic loading. Import statements are supporting what their dynamic loading. It's okay, fine. The 5th point, understand it clearly. You are going to aware about it, no? I think some of you are aware about that C and C++, at least minimal level. Now tell me first of all, hash includes stdio.h, conio.h, math.h. Is it possible? That means my intention is what there. By using single hash include statement, is it possible to include more than one header file? Is it possible to include more than one header file by using single hash include statement? No, not possible. This syntax is not possible. For every header file, a separate hash include statement we have to write. By using a single hash include statement, we are unable to include more than one header file. Understand the point here now? By using single hash include statement, single header file only we are able to load. Understand the point clearly now? So this is not possible. Okay, but what is possible here now? Hash include stdio.h. Then after this, what next one here? Hash include conio.h. Then what next one here now? Hash include math.h. Understand it now? Then the point here, what I am telling to you, observe carefully. In the C and C++, by using single hash include statement, we are able to include only one header file. We are able to include only one header file. By using single hash include statement, we are able to include only one header file. It is not possible to include more than one header file. It is not possible to include more than one header file by using a single hash include statement. Right, sir. Now example here I am telling to you, observe carefully. What example here I have given there? Hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, hash include math.h. Like this here we are getting it. That's okay, fine. But in the case of Java, what is going on? Say for example, if I write import java.io.star, star I provided. What's the meaning of star? No, all. By using single import statement, we can get more than one class or more than one interface of the same package or not. From a same package, we are able to get more than one class, more than one interface or not. But in the case of C and C++, more number of hash include statements we have to write to include more number of header files now. Understand my point? Where less number of instructions are going to be provided? In which programming language less number of instructions are available? In Java only. Why? Because star notation is available in the case of Java to represent all classes and interface of the respective package. Right, sir. Now, what is the point here I'm telling to you? In Java, to include more than one class, and more than one interface, more than one interface of the same package, we are able to use a single import statement. We are able to use what? There single import statement. Understand it clearly what I am telling to you. In Java, to include more than one class and more than one interface of the same package, then we are able to use what? There single import statement. Now here we are providing what? There example. Now try to understand this example here. Import java.io.star. Here star notation here we are able to use. By using star notation, we are able to represent all classes and interface of the same package. Here, but if you want to get from multiple packages, different packages, no, multiple import statements here we have to write. Understand my point here? No, see, one class from one package, another class is from another package, next class is from another package, then three import statements here we have to write. But all class and interfaces, if you want to get from a same package, then single import statement is sufficient. Only one import statement is sufficient to get all class and interfaces from the respective package. Yes, sir. These are the basic differences between hash include and import statements. Now let us conclude the points here. Now observe carefully. What points here we understood? What is the question here now? What are the differences between hash include statement and import statement? Now where the answer is what there? Hash include statements exist in C and C++, whereas import statement exists in what there? Java. Hash include statements are able to include the predefined libraries which exist in header files. Import statements are able to include the predefined libraries which exist in packages. Preprocessor is evaluating hash include statements. Both compile and JVM are evaluating what their import statement. Hash include statements are supporting starting loading. Import statements are supporting what their dynamic loading. In C and C++, by using single hash include statement, we are able to include only one header file. It is not possible. It is not possible to include more than one header file by using a single hash include statement. Right, sir. Next one is example here I've given hash include like this. Number of examples here are given there. Hash include sto.h, hash include connet.h, hash include math.h. It's okay, fine. In Java, to include more than one class and more than one interface of the same package, we are able to use a single import statement. Examples are what there? Import java.io.star. Like this here we are providing. Right, sir. The second difference is also be completed. Now put more concentration. The third difference here I'm telling to you, all of you understand it now. The most important difference in these differences between Java and others is the third one. Put more concentration. I'm going to talk about it. Now the third difference is what there. C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages. C and C++ are what their platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. But Java is what their platform independent programming language. Understand the point clearly? What I am telling you know, Java is what their a platform independent programming language. Right, sir. It's okay, fine. This is the third difference here. We understood there. Second one is what their preprocessor, and the third one is what their right, sir. Platform dependent and platform independent. That points here we understood now. Right, sir. It's okay, fine. Now let's move on to the point here. So what is platform dependent programming language first? Right, sir. Yeah, one simple question might be people are asking, no, not right. Let me check it. Sometime in Java we don't import the classes and interfaces. but still compiler is able to compile the statements. How? Yeah. Yeah, the point is what? In Java, listen carefully. System is one of the class. Object is one of the class. String is one of the class. All these classes are available in java.lang package. Java.lang package is a default package in every Java file. Not required to import that package. My point, not required to import the package. So if you write the classes and interfaces of java.lang package in the present Java file, no need to import the java.lang package. Automatically it is imported inside the Java file. So compiler will not give any error even if we use the classes and interface of java.lang package without import. Because of that reason, we are not going to have what there compilation errors. Understand the point now? For example, if we use some members like what their buffer data, which is available in java.io package. If we use buffer data without importing the java.io package, definitely we will get compilation error. Array list is one of the class from java.util package. If we use that array list class without importing the java.util package, then definitely compiler will raise an error. So if we use the members of the default package in the present Java file, no compilation error, no import statement is required. But if you use the members of some other package, not default package, not from java.lang, for some other package if we use, no, definitely import statement is required. Otherwise we are able to get the compilation error. Okay, this is a content. Just leave this point here now. Right, now let's move to the point here. C and C++ are what their platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Now let's try to put more concentration. Yeah, people are asking the question only, but they're not giving any reply. I've given some, what I'm doing the reply now, but I've given some answer there, but people are not giving any reply. Yeah, giving reply is also your responsibility. Okay, right. Now let's move to the point here. Okay, fine. Before going to understand, C and C++ are platform dependent or platform independent. Before that, first of all, what is platform dependent programming language? Which programming languages are platform dependent and which programming languages are platform independent? That point we have to understand. Yes, sir? Now, I'm going to give some definition to you now, try to understand it clearly. As you said in the earlier of this class, if you write any program, two things we have to perform. One is compilation, other one is what their execution. Then only we are able to get output. Let's move to the point here. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution both on the same operating system, not on two different operating systems, both compilation and execution both are on the same operating system, not on two different operating systems, then that programming language is called platform dependent programming languages. That programming language is what their platform dependent programming language. Tell me, sir, what is a platform dependent programming language here? If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, then that programming language is called platform dependent programming language. That programming language is what? The platform dependent programming language. Please read out the definition here. Once again, try to digest the definition now. What is a platform dependent programming language? If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same, that point is important, on the same operating system, not on two different operating systems, then that programming language is called platform dependent programming language. Now I'm giving clarity. Examples C and C++. Both are platform dependent programming languages. Here more clearly what I am telling there, in C and C++ programming languages, execution of that program must be performed on the same operating system what we have used for compilation. For both compilation and execution, we must use what their same operating system. Then only the programs are going to be executed. Okay, now let us understand it now. How C and C++ are platform dependent? What is that internal reason? What exactly the internal reason why that C and C++ are platform dependent? Now we are going to understand that point clearly. Right, sir? All of you observe carefully. Everybody, put more concentration now. I want to show some diagrammatic representation. By that you are able to get clarity. For example, so this is my C program. Then here, if it is a C program, then .c is an extension for this file. So it represents this is our C program. When we write that C program, then definitely here we have to perform what their compilation. Here we have to perform what their compilation. And this is compilation. Right, sir. Now, when we perform compilation, here we are going to have one file. What file here we are able to get here? .exe files here we are having. When we perform compilation here we are able to have what there .exe file. .exe file. Whenever we are having the .exe file, then we have to perform execution. Here we are going to perform what there? Execution. Right, sir. Now, who is performing this execution? Actually, C engine is performing execution. When we execute this program there, we are able to get some output. Here we can get that outputs. Now this is like what I am telling here, output. This is the overall process that we have to understand. Now observe carefully, a C program here I have taken compilation, .exe file, execution and getting output. This is a general structure what we are having here. Okay. See, not only in the case of C, same process is very same in C++ and in Java also. But Python is different, somewhat different. In the case of Python, no compilation explicitly. Write program, execute program, output we are able to get. That is Python. But in the case of C, C++, Java, the process is what there. First we have to write the program, compile the program, then some low level code we are able to get, execute it, then we are able to get the output. Okay, fine. Now all of you understand it, no? For example, I'm going to provide as per the definition. C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages. As per the definition, I'm going to use some operating systems for compilation and for execution. Put more concentration, all of you know. For compilation, I'm going to use Windows operating system. For compilation, I'm going to use what there? Windows operating system. As per the definition, for execution also, I need to provide what there? Windows operating system. Compilation is available on Windows, execution is also be available on Windows. Finally, we are able to get the output. So C and C++ are what there? Platform dependent programming languages. That I can give conclusion. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? If I do this, but for the discussion point of for the sake of the discussion, next 2 to 3 minutes of time, let's assume I'm not going to use Windows operating system for execution. For discussion purpose, I'm not going to use Windows operating system. There I'm going to use what there? Linux operating system. At runtime I'm using what there? Linux operating system. Listen, all of you listen carefully. Let's assume it. C program compilation is on one computer, Windows operating system. Execution is going on in another computer with what operating system? Linux operating system. Now tell me, my C engine is available on which operating system? C engine is available on which operating system? Linux operating system. So the C engine is able to understand. C engine is able to understand and execute only Linux representations. Before this entire discussion, we have to believe one point. What's that point here? We have to understand from operating system to operating system. From one operating system to another operating system, the internal data representations are different. Internal conventions are different. Don't expect the same data representation and same conventions in all the operating systems. Say, if the same conventions and same representations are available in all the operating systems, what is the need of these many operating systems in outside? No, one operating system is sufficient. So the point is what the conventions and the internal data representations are different from one operating system to another operating system. Windows is following one type of conventions. Linux is following another type of conventions. Solaris is following another type of conventions. MacBook, that means iOS, is following some other type of conventions. Operating system to operating system, that internal representations are different. That point here we have to believe. Okay, now let's move the point here. C engine is provided on Linux operating system. So C engine is able to execute only Linux representations. C engine is able to execute only what representations? You know, Linux representations. It is not going to execute any other representations. All of you understand that point clearly. C engine is able to execute only Linux representations. Why? Because it was installed on the top of the Linux operating system. It was installed on the top of what operating system? Linux operating system. So it is able to execute only Linux related code, Linux represented code. Okay, up to that it's okay, no problem. Now let's go on to the point here. We have written C program here. We have written C program. When we compile this C program on Windows operating system, there we are getting .exe file. What is there inside the .exe file? What is there inside the .exe file? And observe carefully. Right, now I'll give some clarity, don't worry. In a .exe file, what we are able to have then? I'll give some clarity, observe carefully. Put more concentration. Here itself we are able to find the solution for our problem now. All right, sir. Now .exe files contains directly executable code. .exe files contains directly executable code. Okay, .exe files contains the local operating system representations. .exe files contains the local operating system representations like .exe file contains the local operating system representations like Windows representations, like Windows representations. Let's try to understand the point what I have given. C program we compiled on Windows operating system. So that Windows operating system compilation process has generated .exe file. This .exe file contains what? .exe files contains directly executable code. It has the local operating system representations like Windows representations. This .exe file is generated by Windows represented compilation process. So this .exe file contains Windows represented executable code. Once it is Windows dependent executable code, Windows represented executable code, once it is following Windows conventions, how is it possible to execute that Windows conventions on Linux operating system? Okay, now in this example, what I am telling the .exe file here we are having. This .exe file contains what representations now? Tell me. Windows representations. If I give this .exe file to the C engine which is on Linux operating system, it is able to execute only what representations? No, Linux representations. But we are providing what representations? No, Windows representations. From one operating system to another operating system, conventions are different or not? So how is it possible to execute Windows represented .exe file under Linux operating system? By the C engine which is on Linux operating system. How is it possible for it to execute that Windows representations under Linux operating system? Is it possible to represent the Linux conventions or Windows conventions inside the Linux operating system? Both are different or same? Linux and Windows are both are different or same? Both are different, definitely different. There's so many conventions are different. The total data representation is different. So because of that reason here, our program is not going to be executed. In this case, our program is not going to be executed. Is that all of you get my point or not? So, but I want to make my program to execute in this particular scenario. If I want to run my program, I have only one option. I'm not having any other option. Here I'm having only one option. What is that option here? At runtime, you should remove what operating system? No, Linux operating system. In place of that Linux operating system, we must provide the same Windows operating system, not even other Windows operating system. The same Windows operating system what we have used for compilation, the same we have to use for what their execution. This is exactly the meaning of like what their Windows operating system. That means platform dependent. Now see this point here. No, if we use Windows operating system at runtime, C engine is able to execute only what representations. No, you should not specify that Linux representations. There in place of it, we have to provide what? There we have to provide what? Windows representations. Now see this compatibility here we are getting. What is our compatibility? .exe file is provided as per Windows representations. It contains Windows representations. Now we are trying to execute that Windows represented code in what operating system? No, we are trying to execute this Windows represented code in what operating system? In the same Windows operating system or not? Come on guys, we are providing Windows represented .exe file that we are trying to execute under which operating system? No, the same Windows operating system. Now compatibility is available or not? Because of this dependency, because of that execution operating system dependent on the compilation operating system, because of that reason we can conclude that C and C++ are what? Their platform dependent programming languages. Because of this particular reason, C and C++ are what? Their platform dependent programming languages. That's very clear. That's the point here I'm telling you now. Okay, right, sir. Now let me check this point here. What I'm telling you now, I want to take this diagram clearly. Right, sir. Now inside this I'm going to provide the diagram, but before that I want to give some clarity. Now try to understand it clearly. If we compile C and C++ programs under Windows operating system, then the compiler will provide .exe files. Compiler will provide what? Their .exe file, where the generated .exe file contains directly executable code, where the generated .exe file contains directly executable code. It contains the local operating system representations like Windows representations. Local operating system representations like what? Their Windows representations. Right. Another point here I'm telling to you, observe carefully. In the above context, to execute the Windows represented, .exe file, we must provide the same. We must provide the same Windows operating system for the execution process, for the execution of the C program, C and C++ programs. Or else we must provide the same Windows operating system at a runtime, of the application. Right, this is a point here I'm telling there. Now in this point, what's the conclusion here I'm telling there? Right, sir. Now, in the above context, or else maybe in C and C++, in C and C++, the operating system which we have used for compilation, the operating system which we have used for compilation must be used for the execution time, or maybe must be used for execution, must be used at runtime, of the application. So C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages. Platform dependent programming languages. That's it. That's it. How C and C++ are platform dependent. This is the explanation here we have to follow. Finally, final conclusion here I'm telling to you. All of you understand it now. What we are getting there. Now, first of all, check for it. C program, compilation, Windows operating system, .exe file, execution, C engine. If we compile C program on Windows operating system, .exe file is generated with what representations? No, Windows representations. This Windows represented .exe file will be executed under the same Windows operating system, not under any other operating systems. Why? Because operating system to operating system, that internal data representations are varied. Because of that reason, whatever the operating system we have used for compilation, the same operating system we must be used for what? Their execution. So runtime operating system is dependent on the compilation operating system. So C and C++ are what? Their platform dependent programming languages. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Right, sir. That's okay, fine. Next one is what? There Java is a platform independent programming language. But how? Before that, what is platform independent programming language? Now, before that, now tell me, what is platform dependent programming language? What is platform dependent programming language? If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, then that programming language is called platform dependent programming language. Understand it clearly. Similarly, what is platform independent programming language? No, direct definition here I'm telling to you, observe carefully. If any programming language allows its applications, to perform compilation in one operating system, and execution is in another operating system. Compilation is in one operating system. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation in one operating system and execution is in another operating system, then that programming language is called platform independent programming language. Platform independent programming language. Best example I'm telling to you, observe carefully. Example for this platform independent programming language, Java. Now here we are discussing about only what there, Java. Java is the platform independent programming language. Java is the best example for it. Okay, but how Java is a platform independent programming language? What is the internal reason why Java is a platform independent programming language? I'll give one simple conclusion now. Try to understand it clearly. Java is a platform independent programming language. Why? Because Java allows its applications to perform compilation in one operating system and allows to execute. Java allows its application to perform compilations in one operating system, and the execution is in multiple operating systems. Compilation is in one operating system and execution is on what? They're different operating systems, multiple operating systems. or else maybe is in different multiple operating systems. Different multiple operating systems. So because of that reason, Java is a platform independent programming language. Still, I'm not giving internal reason. But Java is following one principle. Observe carefully. Even because of that also we can say that Java is a platform independent. What Java is following the principle, Java is following the principle, Java is following the principle like, what is that principle here? WORA, right sir? Like what there? Wara. The principal name is what there? Wara. What is that Wara? Actually, write once, run anywhere. All of you get my point here? Write once, run anywhere. Definitely. Then some people may ask this question to you. What is the basic principle of the Java? The Java representation. What is the basic principle of the Java? Write once, run anywhere. See, nowadays might be for every, say nowadays maybe some movies are available, right? For each and every movie, some tagline is available. I get my point. Some taglines are available for the movies now. Say for example, Bahubali, the beginning. Then what is the second part, Bahubali? For second part number 2, what is it? What is the title, tagline? The conclusion. Bahubali, the conclusion. Similarly, Pushpa 1. Anything is available? There's something else, the rising or something else is available, right? Then in the same way for Pushpa 2 also something else, no, right? For movies we have some taglines. Similarly, for programming languages also some tagline. The basic principle, basic nature of that programming language is a tagline. For Java, the tagline is what there? Vara. Write once, run anywhere. What's the meaning of it now? Write once in the sense, do you think about it? Write only one time program, execute multiple times? No, that is not the meaning. Write once in the sense, compile one time. Write once in the sense, compile one time. Then what next one can know? Run anywhere. Run anywhere. Execute that program in any of the operating systems. Compile in one operating system and execute in any of the operating systems. That is the basic principle of what there? Java. Vara. Even because of that reason also we can conclude that Java is what there? A platform independent programming language. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? But how Java is a platform independent programming language? These are not the actual reasons. These are only taglines. But what exactly that internal reason? Okay. Right, so now if you want to continue that, I require minimum half an hour to 45 minutes of time. Can I discuss this in the next class now? Okay, I think in the middle here, even if I start it now within 10 minutes, I have to close it. It's a hurry-burry manner, even not in good manner. Then that explanation is required minimum 45 minutes of time. Internally, I have to talk. How JVM is coming into the picture, then because of what reason that things are coming there, that we have to understand. Can I discuss it now? That in the next class I want to discuss with you, don't worry, but up to this we have to prepare well. With the knowledge here, we have to come to the sessions now. All of you are getting it now, okay? Right, sir. One small information there. Yeah, actually tomorrow we have a schedule. I need to take the class now, but excuse and tomorrow, Saturday, then I have some work there at this time. No, I'm unable to take the class. I may be in outside of the city. Then tomorrow, excuse for it. Tomorrow, as per the schedule, I have to take the class. But because of my personal work, I'm not going to take the class on tomorrow. Even I tried for online classes to conduct, no, but even still it is not possible. I may be in some other work there. I may not be free in this time, no. Don't worry. The next class is going to be happen on Monday. Right, sir. Tomorrow and day of tomorrow, just take gap. On Monday, you can come there. Monday, one time I will give the total review of this content there. After that, the JVM content I will discuss with you. How Java is a platform independent with very good diagrammatic representation I'm able to provide. Okay. More than this, we are able to see some other diagram. There we are able to understand the content clearly. So, what is the next class time there? What is the next class there? On Monday at 8:30, we have to come for the next class. Understand it clearly now. Again and again, I'm telling there. 7 to 10 is my time for Java, for full stack or for whatever it may be, core Java or whatever it may be. At present here I'm taking only what there, then core Java single slot. Slowly I'm going to take the classes initially. Once you are comfortable with my classes, once you are in a good track, then definitely I will change the gear, then we are going to speed up the content. But we are still kids in Java. This type of spoon feeding is required. Once we are matured in Java, once we have some maturity in Java, then we are going to discuss that high-end kind of explanation. But at present, each and every point I have to explain, each and every point here I have to discuss with you. Because of that reason, don't get bored. But next few days of time, the same tempo is going to be happen. Understand it? What I'm telling you. Moreover, just the fact here I'm telling there. Actually, this batch we started there nearly up to 1 month of time. We are going to have some admissions regarding this batch. In some days, in the weekdays also, maybe on Fridays maximum, or any one Friday maybe, I need to take some demo class for new members. Then throughout the week, some new members will come there. For them, I need to take demo class, but I will give that prior intimation to you. On that day, I may not go for the class. Meanwhile, I will take the class on Saturday. If possible, I'll conduct the class on Sunday also, if the syllabus is not in right track. But you have to cooperate with me. Why? Because every week new members are going to be come here. I need to take a demo class, only demo class. Your batch is not going to be disturbed. It is going to be continued. All right. But one day maybe I may take the demo class for new members. Then for them I will give backup some other time here, not in your time. This time is going to be going continued for the long time. Understand this clearly. Whatever it may be, at present 8:30 to 10 o'clock I'm taking no, but in the future I may use the time like what there 7 to 8:30 also. In 7 to 10 is my time. Either of this time here I'm going to take the classes. Understand it clearly now, but not immediately. The time is not going to be changed immediately. Maybe after 40 to 45 days of time, then definitely I may think about it, but this time is going to be happen in the next 40 to 45 days of time. But in the middle, on Fridays maybe I may take the demo classes for new members. Maybe in one or two situations I may take demo class for them. That's why I may not go for your regular class on that particular day. Next day onwards your continuation is going to be happen, but that cooperation I require from all of your side now. Okay, but I'll give that prior intimation to you. No need to worry for it. Right, sir? That's all for today. I'll meet on Monday for the continuation of this particular topic. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. I'll meet on Monday. Yeah, then Nilavapal, then even if you want to perform compilation and if you want to execute the programs, definitely Java software is mandatory. Without Java software, it is not possible to compile, it is not possible to execute the program. Even in other systems, if you want to execute, there also be Java software is mandatory. Yeah, then in any of the in any of the system, if you want to perform compilation and execution, there also be what is mandatory, operating system is mandatory. Understand, Nirvapal? I think, and you're my previous batch student, right, Paul? I think you're not a new student for this batch. I think you're my previous batch student, right? Yeah, have you taken permission from our admin people there to attend these classes now? Yeah, it's okay, fine. Yeah, which batch actually you attended there previously? What's the timing for it? 7 p.m. batch. Okay, 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 fine, fine, fine. Yeah, no problem. You can continue. It's not an issue, but take the prior permission from our admin people there. Then they have to transfer your batch from that evening batch to this time here. They are going to take that note, right? Yeah, it's okay, no problem. See, I don't have any restrictions even if you want to attend for it now. But the point is what that intimation, just you have to give that intimation to our admin people that they will go for it. Yeah, don't worry. Then we can attend for it. Not at all issue. We can attend it. No, it's not at all matter for us. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Java software is required, but compilation we are doing on one operating system, but execution we are doing on another operating system. And another operating system again we are not compiling the program. One time compilation here we have to do. Then another time compilation, another time execution only directly we have to do. But compilation we are not going to another time. Anyway, then if you attend the next class, then we are able to get much clarity on this topic. Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.